What are some tips to follow so you won't become a distracted driver? You should use your low beams whenever you can. True or false? What factors determine your selection of a safe speed when going down a long, steep downgrade?
Hello, this is Barry Branton. I'm making these study videos to help you pass the CDL General Knowledge exam. The questions along with the answers, which I cover in this video, can be found in the CDL manual. A link to that manual is in the description.
Question Group E. 6 questions. Covering sections 2.9, Distracted Driving, and 2.10, Aggressive Drivers, Road Rage. What are some tips to follow so you won't become a distracted driver? Turn off all communication devices. Do not text or read text messages while driving. Familiarize yourself with your vehicle's features, equipment, and before you get behind the wheel, adjust all vehicle controls and mirrors to your preference prior to driving. Pre-program radio stations and preload your favorite CDs. Clear the vehicle of any unnecessary objects, and secure cargo, etc. How do you use in-vehicle communications equipment cautiously? Assessing all potential in-vehicle distractions before driving, developing a preventive plan to reduce or eliminate possible distractions, expecting distractions to occur, and discussing possible scenarios before getting behind the wheel. How do you recognize a distracted driver? Vehicles may drift over the lane divider lines or within their own lanes. Cars traveling at inconsistent speeds, drivers preoccupied with maps, food and cigarettes, cell phones or other objects, drivers who appear to be involved in conversations with their passengers, What is the difference between aggressive driving and road rage? Aggressive driving is the act of operating a car in a selfish, bold, or pushy manner without regard for the rights or safety of others. Road rage is operating a motor vehicle with the intent of doing harm to others or physically assaulting a driver or their vehicle. What should you do when confronted with an aggressive driver? Get out of his way. Put your pride in the back seat. Don't challenge him by speeding up. Avoid eye contact. Ignore gestures. And refuse to react to him. Report aggressive drivers to the authorities. What are some things you can do to reduce your stress before and while you drive? Listen to easy listening music. Give the drive your full attention. Be realistic about your travel time. If you're going to be later than expected, deal with it. Give other drivers the benefit of the doubt. Slow down and keep your following distance reasonable. Don't drive too slowly in the left lane of traffic. Avoid gestures. Be a cautious and courteous driver. Group F, 5 questions. Covering sections 2.11, Driving at Night, 2.12, Driving in Fog, 2.13, Driving in Winter, and 2.14, Driving in Very Hot Weather. You should use your low beams whenever you can. True or false? False. Use high beams when you can. Some drivers make the mistake of always using low beams. This can seriously cut down on their ability to see ahead. Use high beams when it is safe and legal to do so. Use them when you are not within 500 feet of an approaching vehicle. What should you do before you drive if you are drowsy? If you are drowsy, sleep before you drive. Even a nap can save your life or the lives of others. What effects can wet brakes cause? How can you avoid these problems? When driving in heavy rain or deep standing water, your brakes will get wet. Water in the brakes can cause the brakes to be weak, to apply unevenly, or to grab. This can cause lack of braking power, wheel lockups, pulling to one side or the other, and jackknife if you pull a trailer. Avoid driving through deep puddles or flowing water, if possible. If not, you should slow down. Place the transmission in low gear and gently put on your brakes. This presses linings against brake drums or discs and keeps mud, silt, sand, and water from getting in. Increase engine RPMs and cross the water while keeping light pressure on the brakes. When out of water, maintain light pressure on the brakes for a short distance to heat them up and dry them out. Make a test stop when safe to do so. Check behind to make sure no one is following, and then apply the brakes to be sure they work well. If not, dry them out further as described above. Caution: do not apply too much brake pressure and depress the accelerator at the same time, or you can overheat the brake drums and lining. You should let air out of hot tires so the pressure goes back to normal. True or false? False. Air pressure increases with temperature. Do not let air out, or the pressure will be too low when the tires cool off. If a tire is too hot to touch, remain stopped until the tire cools off. Otherwise, the tire may blow out or catch fire. Can you safely remove the radiator cap as long as the engine isn't overheated? What constitutes an overheated engine? What if the engine hasn't overheated but is just hot? The CDL manual states, never remove the radiator cap or any part of the pressurized system until the system has cooled. Steam and boiling water can spray under pressure and cause severe burns. If you can touch the radiator cap with your bare hand, it is probably cool enough to open. Question Group G, 5 questions. Covering sections 2.15, Railroad Highway Crossings, and 2.16, Mountain Driving. What factors determine your selection of a safe speed when going down a long, steep downgrade? Your most important consideration is to select a speed that is not too fast for the total weight of your vehicle and cargo, the length of the grade, the steepness of the grade, the road conditions, and the weather. Why should you be in the proper gear before starting down a hill? You want to be in the proper gear before going down a hill, because if you try to shift gears when you are driving on the downgrade, you might get locked out of engaging any gear and will lose all engine braking capability. Describe the proper braking technique when going down a long, steep downgrade. The use of brakes on a long or steep downgrade is only a supplement to the braking effect of the engine. Once the vehicle is in the proper low gear, the following are the proper braking techniques. Apply the brakes just hard enough to feel a definite slowdown. When your speed has been reduced to approximately 5 miles per hour below your safe speed, release the brakes. This brake application should last for about 3 seconds. When your speed has increased to your safe speed, repeat steps 1 and 2. For example, if your speed is 40 miles per hour, you would not apply the brakes until your speed reached 40 miles per hour. You now apply the brakes hard enough to gradually reduce your speed to 35 miles per hour, and then release the brakes. Repeat this as often as necessary until you have reached the end of the downgrade. What type of vehicle can get stuck on a railroad highway crossing? Be aware, these trailers can get stuck on raised crossings, low-slung units, lowboy, car carrier, moving van, possum belly livestock trailer, single-axle tractor pulling a long trailer with its landing gear set to accommodate a tandem axle tractor. How long does it take for a typical tractor-trailer unit to clear a double track? It takes a typical tractor-trailer unit at least 14 seconds to clear a single track and more than 15 seconds to clear a double track. Question Group H. 7 questions. Covering sections 2.17, Driving Emergencies, 2.18, Anti-lock braking systems, ABS, and 2.19, Skid control and recovery. Stopping is not always the safest thing to do in an emergency. True or false? True. Stopping is not always the safest thing to do in an emergency. When you don't have enough room to stop, you may have to steer away from what's ahead. Remember, you can almost always turn to miss an obstacle more quickly than you can stop. However, top-heavy vehicles and tractors with multiple trailers may flip over. What are some advantages to going right instead of left around an obstacle? If an oncoming driver has drifted into your lane, a move to your right is best. If that driver realizes what has happened, the natural response will be to return to his own lane. If the shoulder is clear, going right may be best. No one is likely to be driving on the shoulder, but someone may be passing you on the left. You will know if you have been using your mirrors. If you are blocked on both sides, a move to the right may be best. At least you won't force anyone into an opposing traffic lane and a possible head-on collision. What is an escape ramp? Escape ramps have been built on many steep mountain downgrades. Escape ramps are made to stop runaway vehicles safely without injuring drivers and passengers. Escape ramps use a long bed of loose, soft material to slow a runaway vehicle, sometimes in combination with an upgrade. If a tire blows out, you should put the brakes on hard to stop quickly. True or false? False. Stay off the brakes. It's natural to want to brake in an emergency. However, braking when a tire has failed can cause loss of control. Unless you're about to run into something, stay off the brakes until the vehicle has slowed down. Then brake very gently, pull off the road, and stop. How do you know if your vehicle has anti-lock brakes? Tractors, trucks, and buses will have yellow ABS malfunction lamps on the instrument panel. Trailers will have yellow ABS malfunction lamps on the left side, either on the front or rear corner. What is the proper braking technique when driving a vehicle with anti-lock brakes? Brake the same way, regardless of whether you have ABS on the bus, tractor, the trailer, or both. How do anti-lock brakes help you? Brake pressure is adjusted to provide the maximum braking without danger of lockup. ABS works far faster than the driver can respond to potential wheel lockup. At all other times, the brake system will operate normally.